A woman died this morning at 71. 4 morning habits, quietly killing seniors. She didn't think this morning would be her last. At 71, Margaret was still full of life. Sharp mind, warm laugh. A little slower on her feet, but still independent. She woke up early like always, brewed her coffee, and went about her morning. But within minutes, something felt wrong. A wave of dizziness hit her. She stumbled, tried to steady herself, but it was too late. By the time help arrived, it was over. It's the kind of story that hits hard because it's so real. It's not dramatic. It's not something that happens in the middle of the night or during some big tragic accident. It's quiet. It's simple. And that's what makes it terrifying. Because for so many people over 70, the real danger isn't out there somewhere. It's in the first few moments of the day. It's in the things we've done 1,000 times before without thinking twice. It's in the routine. Here's the truth. Mornings can be dangerous. Not because the morning itself is a threat, but because the body changes with age in ways that aren't always visible. The heart, the brain, the nervous system, they're not working the same way they did 10, 20, 30 years ago. And what used to be harmless can now be risky. That first step out of bed, skipping breakfast, taking medication the wrong way, rushing into a stressful day, all of it can add up. And sometimes all it takes is one wrong move. But this isn't about fear. This is about awareness. It's about understanding what's really happening as we age and how small changes can make the difference between a safe morning and a medical emergency. Because the truth is, Margaret's story didn't have to end the way it did. There were signs, there were habits, there were choices, innocent ones that made all the difference. So if you're over 70 or you love someone who is, I need you to hear this. Your mornings matter more than you think. And today we're going to talk about the 4 most dangerous morning mistakes people over 70 often make. Mistakes that can lead to serious health problems, or worse. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how to avoid them. How to protect yourself or someone you love. How to turn those quiet, peaceful morning hours into something even more powerful. A safeguard for your life. Let's talk about what really went wrong that morning and how you can make sure it doesn't happen to you. Mistake 1. Rushing out of bed too quickly. It sounds so simple, getting out of bed. You wake up, swing your legs over the side, stand up, and start your day. Most of us have done it the exact same way for decades. But the older we get, the more dangerous that movement becomes. And for many people over 70, this is the first major mistake they make every single morning, without ever realizing it. Here's what's happening. When you go from lying down to standing up too quickly, your blood pressure can suddenly drop. It's called orthostatic hypotension. And it's more common in older adults because the body doesn't regulate blood flow as efficiently as it used to. Your heart may not pump fast enough, or your blood vessels may not constrict quickly enough to keep blood flowing to your brain. The result? Dizziness, lightheadedness, a moment of blurred vision, and sometimes a fall. Now, maybe you've felt this before. Stood up too fast and got that woozy, spinning feeling. Maybe it passed in a second and you brushed it off. But here's the problem. If that moment happens near a sharp corner, in a bathroom, or at the top of stairs, it doesn't have to last long to cause serious damage. We're talking about falls that lead to broken hips, concussions, internal bleeding. We're talking about trauma that sends someone to the hospital and starts a chain of health complications that can spiral out of control. One fall can change everything. One moment can turn a good day into a life-threatening emergency. And it's not just about falling. For some people, the sudden drop in blood pressure puts strain on the heart. If someone already has heart disease or circulation issues, that quick change in position can trigger an episode. Chest pain, shortness of breath, even a heart attack. The risk is real, and it's higher than most people think. But the good news is, this is one of the easiest mistakes to fix. There's something called the 60-second rule. It's simple but powerful. When you wake up, don't immediately sit up and stand. Take a moment. First, wiggle your fingers and toes. Then move your arms and legs slowly. Roll onto your side. Sit up slowly. Let your feet dangle off the side of the bed. Take a few deep breaths. Then, and only then, stand up carefully. Those 60 seconds can literally save your life. If this sounds too cautious, remember this. Your body isn't waking up at the same speed it used to. Blood pressure, heart rate, balance. It all takes a little more time. Giving your body that minute to adjust isn't weakness, it's wisdom. I know, it might feel silly at first. You've been hopping out of bed your whole life, but this isn't about what you used to do. This is about what your body needs now. And honestly, once it becomes a habit, you won't even think about it. It'll just be your new normal. You deserve mornings that feel safe, steady, and strong. Not rushed, not risky. So tomorrow morning, take the time. Give yourself those 60 seconds. You're not just getting out of bed, you're giving yourself the best possible start to the day. Because how you rise sets the tone for everything that follows. Mistake 2, skipping water in the first hour. You'd be surprised how many people start their day with everything but water. Coffee, tea, maybe a bite to eat, or sometimes nothing at all. And for those over 70, this one simple habit, not drinking water within the first hour of waking up, can quietly put a serious strain on the body. Here's why it matters so much. Overnight, while you're sleeping, your body naturally loses water. Through breathing, sweating, even just the body's natural functions, you're becoming mildly dehydrated by the time you wake up. And because most people don't drink anything for 6 to 8 hours or more, you're already starting the day at a disadvantage. That effect gets even stronger with age. See, as we grow older, our sense of thirst starts to dull. The brain doesn't send the same strong, "I need water" signals it used to. That means even if your body is craving hydration, you might not feel thirsty, so you don't drink. That silent dehydration creeps in and becomes a daily pattern. And when it builds up over time, it can lead to a long list of issues. We're talking about fatigue, brain fog, joint stiffness, dry skin, low blood pressure, headaches, and even an increased risk of urinary tract infections or kidney problems. But here's the kicker. For older adults, dehydration also raises the risk of falls, heart strain, and even confusion or delirium, especially in the morning when your body's most vulnerable. And if you're someone who's on medication, hydration becomes even more critical. Diuretics, blood pressure pills, heart meds, they all interact with your fluid levels. Without enough water, those medications may not work the way they're supposed to. In some cases, they could even become harmful. There was a case not long ago, an older gentleman who'd been dealing with mild heart issues. One morning he fainted in his kitchen. The cause? Not a major event, not a stroke, just chronic dehydration that pushed his blood pressure too low while he was standing. His body simply didn't have the hydration to stabilize itself. That's how fragile the balance can be. But the solution is simple. 1 glass of water in the first hour of your day can help stabilize blood pressure, improve mental clarity, boost digestion, and support every organ in your body. Warm water is especially gentle in the morning. Add a slice of lemon if you like, or a pinch of sea salt if you're prone to low blood pressure and need a little electrolyte support. And it doesn't need to be a big jug. Just 8 to 12 ounces is a powerful start. One trick that works for a lot of people is to keep a glass or bottle of water by the bed. That way, it's the first thing you see in the morning. Before coffee, before meds, before movement. Hydrate. Give your body what it's silently asking for. Some people even start a little hydration journal for the first week or two, just a reminder to stay consistent until the habit sticks. It might sound like a small thing, but the impact, huge. Because the truth is, your body's doing a lot behind the scenes, keeping your heart beating, your brain firing, your joints moving, and it needs water to do that well. Especially first thing in the morning, when you're resetting everything for the day ahead. So, if you've been skipping that first glass of water, now's the time to change that. It might not feel like a big deal in the moment, but your body will notice, and it will thank you, in energy, in clarity, in balance. Hydration is life. And in the morning, it just might be the thing that keeps you standing strong. Mistake 3. Ignoring morning medications or mismanaging timing. Let's talk about something that happens in households all over the world. Those little orange prescription bottles lined up on a kitchen counter or tucked into a pill organizer. They're easy to overlook, even easier to take for granted. And yet, for someone over 70, how and when you take your medication in the morning can be one of the most important health decisions you make each day. The mistake? Either skipping morning meds altogether or taking them at the wrong time or in the wrong way. Now, sometimes it's accidental. You sleep in, you forget. The schedule gets off track. Other times, people start picking and choosing. I don't feel like I need that one today, or I'll take this one later. It may not seem like a big deal in the moment, especially if you've been on the same medications for a while and your body feels stable. But medications, especially ones for blood pressure, heart rhythm, thyroid, or blood sugar, aren't optional routines. They're time tools. They're designed to work with your body's natural cycles, and when they're skipped, mistimed, or taken incorrectly, the consequences can come fast. Let's take blood pressure medication as an example. Many of them are prescribed for morning use because blood pressure tends to rise when you wake up. It's part of the body's natural circadian rhythm. Taking your medication in the morning helps keep those levels stable during the most active hours of your day. But if you skip it, or delay it until after breakfast or after coffee, your blood pressure can spike without you even knowing, increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke before you've even left the house. Another common issue: taking medication with coffee. It seems harmless, right? You pop your pill with a sip of caffeine, but coffee, especially on an empty stomach, can interfere with how certain medications are absorbed. It speeds up digestion in some ways and slows it in others. For medications that require a steady, predictable absorption, like thyroid meds or certain heart medications, coffee can throw that process off completely. It may blunt the effect or cause side effects like palpitations, jitters, or stomach irritation. Even food timing matters. Some medications are meant to be taken on an empty stomach. Others require food to prevent nausea or boost absorption. And if you mix those up, say you take a med that's meant for an empty stomach right after a meal, or vice versa, you're not just reducing its effectiveness. You could be risking side effects that affect your entire day. I once heard about a woman named Darlene, 76, who had been skipping her morning heart medication here and there, not on purpose, just busy mornings, the usual forgetfulness. One morning, she didn't feel quite right, slightly breathless, a little anxious. She brushed it off and went on with her day. A few hours later, she was in the ER with atrial fibrillation. The doctors traced it back to missed doses and inconsistent timing. It wasn't anything dramatic, just quiet, gradual mismanagement that caught up to her. That's why routine is everything, and not just any routine, a thoughtful, intentional one. If you're not sure how to take your medications properly, ask. Your doctor or pharmacist can walk you through it. You can also ask about pill organizers that label days and times, or set reminders on your phone or smart speaker to help keep you on track. Some people keep a meds and meals notebook, just a simple log that helps them see patterns and stay consistent. And one more thing. Never be afraid to ask if your medication timing needs to change. Sometimes your schedule changes, or your digestion slows, or your sleep shifts. What worked 5 years ago might not be ideal today. And your body deserves a medication routine that fits where you are now, not where you used to be. The bottom line is this: taking medication isn't just about swallowing a pill. It's about understanding what that pill does, when it works best, and how your habits support or sabotage its effects. Because when it comes to your health, consistency isn't boring, it's powerful. And every morning, when you take those pills the right way at the right time, with the right fuel, you're not just managing a condition, you're protecting your future, one small step at a time. Mistake 4, jumping into stress without grounding. There's something about the morning that feels like a fresh start, a clean slate. But for a lot of people, especially those over 70, mornings can become the most mentally and emotionally stressful part of the day, without them even realizing it. Think about how it usually goes. The alarm goes off, you sit up, and your mind immediately starts running. What day is it? What appointments do I have? Did I take my pills? What time is that doctor's visit? Did the grandkids call? What's that ache in my side? Did I forget to pay that bill? Before you've even stood up, your brain is already flooded. Now here's the thing. This kind of stress doesn't always look dramatic. It's not panic attacks or loud anxiety. It's that low, buzzing hum in the background, the mental list-making, the worrying, the pressure, and over time, especially in the early hours of the day, it wears you down physically in ways you might not expect. Science backs this up. The body naturally releases cortisol, the stress hormone, in the morning. That's normal. But for people under chronic stress or even quiet emotional strain, those levels can spike higher than they should. That extra cortisol affects your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your immune system, and even your heart rate. Your body isn't just reacting to your to-do list, it's reacting like you're under threat. Every single day. And if you're already dealing with health issues, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, that morning, stress becomes even more dangerous. In fact, research has shown that heart attacks are more likely to occur in the morning hours, often due to that combination of rising cortisol, increased blood pressure, and physical strain from getting moving too quickly. But even beyond the physical effects, there's the emotional toll. A lot of older adults wake up feeling a kind of heaviness they can't name. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's grief that sneaks in during the quiet moments. Maybe it's fear about getting older, about memory slipping, or about the uncertainty of the future. And instead of sitting with those feelings, or even acknowledging them, we jump into distraction. The news, social media, the endless tasks. And we wonder why we still feel off. The solution isn't complicated, but it does take a little intention. You don't have to start the morning with deep meditation or yoga on a mountaintop. Grounding yourself can be incredibly simple. It starts with stillness. Give yourself 5 minutes before you rush into the world, before the TV, before the news, before the outside noise. Close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your feet on the floor. Listen to the sounds around you. Say something kind to yourself out loud. Seriously. It might feel strange at first, but it's powerful. Even something as gentle as, "I'm safe. I'm here." Today is a gift. You're reminding your nervous system that you're okay, that there's no emergency, that you're allowed to take this morning slow. Another beautiful practice, gratitude. Not the fluffy, forced kind, but real, grounded thankfulness. Think of one thing you're grateful for, a person, a moment, a memory. Let it fill your mind for a few seconds. That small shift in mindset can change your whole day. Your blood pressure may drop. Your heart rate might slow. Your breathing deepens. You're giving your body permission to start in peace, not in panic. Some people play calming music in the background. Others take a moment to step outside and feel the air on their skin. Some sip tea or warm water while watching the sunrise. These moments aren't just pleasant, they're medicine for your mind, for your heart, for your nervous system. Because let's be honest, the world can be overwhelming, especially as you get older. But your mornings don't have to be. You get to decide what kind of energy you step into the day with. And here's the real power in all of this. When you ground yourself in the morning, it doesn't just help you. It helps every person you interact with. Your family, your friends, your caregivers. You're calmer, clearer, more connected. You respond instead of react. You lead the day instead of letting the day lead you. So if your mornings have become a quiet storm of stress, if your first thoughts are filled with worry instead of peace, it's time to shift. Because the way you begin your day doesn't just set the tone, it sets the course. And that course can lead to chaos or calm. Choose calm. You've earned it. Conclusion: a morning could be the beginning or the end. Margaret didn't plan to die that morning. She didn't know that rushing out of bed, skipping water, taking her medication too late, and diving straight into stress would be the perfect storm her body couldn't handle. She didn't know those little habits, those everyday, seemingly harmless things, would quietly add up until her heart gave out. But now you know. And that knowledge is a kind of power. Not the flashy kind, not the dramatic kind, but the kind that saves lives in quiet, lasting ways. Because the truth is, most people don't think of their mornings as life or death. They think of them as routine, automatic, nothing special. But for people over 70, the first hour of the day is more than just a routine. It's a window, a fragile, crucial window where your body is trying to shift gears, stabilize itself, and prepare for the day. And how you treat that window can either protect you or put you in danger. Let's be clear, this isn't about living in fear. This isn't about turning your mornings into a checklist of do's and don'ts. It's about respecting the body you're living in right now. Not the one you had 20 years ago, not the one you wish you still had, but the one that's gotten you through everything, every struggle, every laugh line, every moment of grace. That body deserves care. That mind deserves peace. And your mornings deserve more than chaos, coffee, and noise. They deserve time, stillness, hydration, clarity, a slow breath before the world rushes in. So here's what I hope for you, that tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, you pause, that you take a moment to feel your body before you move, that you drink a glass of water, take your medications with intention, and choose peace over pressure. That you give yourself the same care you've spent decades giving to everyone else. Because your story isn't over. Your mornings still matter. And what you do in those first few minutes can change everything. So if this message spoke to you, don't just keep it for yourself, share it. With a parent, a grandparent, a friend, someone who's waking up every day, unaware that their habits might be putting them at risk. Sometimes it's not the big things that save a life. Sometimes it's the morning. And the choice to start it differently,